How you feel about that? Hey, I'm live again because we touched base on a great topic after I ended the live, and we went on our TikTok and we started talking about it, and it was just tailspin into something that was really good. So I want to definitely talk about it with you guys. So, social media. Social media can definitely be it's a force to be reckoned with when you're dealing with kids. Because sometimes their friends are on Facebook and Instagram. They're like, Mom, Dad, you're mean. And, why can't I have it? And they have it. And, what I'm going to talk to, it's funny because we were just talking about cell phones, right? So when is the appropriate time to get your kids a cell phone? And Kaden was like, when you can get a job, right? And I was like, that's what my mom would say. That's what my dad would say. What? That's what you said. You should stand up. Own it. Own it. Exactly. Own it. When you can get a job, I'm gonna do like when you gotta get a cell phone, when you can get a job, when you can pay for that bill. Now that is what we would do in like the 80s and 90s, right? So we would say, hey, you gotta get a job. But the way things have changed now, with you got so much more social interaction now with people from that you can be involved with, and you can communicate with, and there is a lot of things that are going on with schools, like safety. We just heard about what happened. There was a case in there was someone that killed somebody at a college or shot some facility worker. You have all these mass shootings and all these people shooting, and you're just saying, I got a kid and I want them to be able to contact me. Or I want them to be able to know where their whereabouts are. Because when I was growing up, hey, Mom, we're going to John's house, and we were at the mall. Or we were like, digging the ditch and throwing rocks on the lake or going fishing. We were doing things that aren't cool now. But, we were telling our parents where we were going, and we weren't there. And, thank goodness that nothing happened to me in that process. But there's in bigger cities, in different places, danger lurks everywhere. And with social media, it makes it so much more easier, especially when you got someone that has a Facebook page and they can get a message. And even Roblox, there's a way that there's people on there that are up to no good. So back to the phone. When is a good time for you to get your kid a phone? You got to make that choice yourself. You got to have it. You got to, come to that decision and say, when is it the right time to get my kid a cell phone? Because I want them to be safe. I want them to make sure they can always get a hold of me. I mean, I grew up at a time where there were milk boxes, right? We had milk boxes, like not a milk carton. Well, they were cartons. They were cartons. They were cartons. They were half gallons. And at the back, it had missing kids. And there were missing kids, and you would eat your cereal in the morning, and you would just look at that picture, and you would just go, wow, geez, that kid's missing. What their parents must be going through, what the kids must be going through. There are people out there that are here to do nothing but bad things. And when you leave, and if you don't educate your kids about the dangers of social media and about technology, because if you come with the idea of say, well, you know what, Terrence, I'm not going to give my kid a cell phone. I'm going to wait till they're 17, and when they're 18, when they can make it pay. That philosophy worked then, but now it's completely changed. And now I think it's best for us to educate our children and talk to them about why responsibilities of having social media, and what are some of the things that they are going to do and you're going to enact to keep them safe. Because, you got kids that got on their parents' iPads and they're making these purchases, or they're doing all these things, or there's restrictions that you can put on their. I got my daughter, she's 8, got her iPad, put these restrictions on her, got her phone, put these restrictions. I know who's calling her, who she's calling, where she's at. All those things, and those are just safety nets that us as parents put for our kids. And not just for kids. There's a lot of married couples out there that can use that same type of techniques to help them, get themselves, back to just some type of norm, just some type of I can't say normal, because normal, what's normal? But just seniors, but just that whole safety, because, there's a lot of adults that just come up missing. You know, and then they ping their phone and they're like, hey, where are you at? Where are you at? I mean, there is threats out there, not just on the internet, but also lurking with us every day. And we got to protect ourselves certain ways. And one with a cell phone. Okay, I got something to say. Go ahead.
I got something to say on that end, though, too. Like, on that end, you also have to think about the controlling partners, though, too. You've got to think about, okay, my husband, my wife, they're controlling, they're abusive, they're tracking me. Like, I can't go anywhere because
I'll be tracked. And like, so you gotta,
my
everybody's
is like
different,
creepy,
right?
Stalker
Everybody has their own issues to deal with. But yes, it can be, again, now I'm talking about children. But with adults, you know, if you got to track, I mean, you know, that's just something that each person has to deal out on their own. So I'm not going to give feedback on that. But when it comes to kids or even seniors, having that information, having the ability to be able to, you know, your mom or father is in a hospice house and you want to be able for them to press a button and call you. Not pick up a phone. No, you want to be able to press a button and call. You can do that with an Apple Watch. You can do that with a lot of smartwatches. Ping it to your phone. Some of them have their own service, and they can call you. You know, back in the 80s, they had a little pendant on that they advertised to a lot of seniors, and they would make commercials about a senior falling and then pressing the button and saying, "Help! I've fallen and I can't get up." That happens still today, and cell phones made it so much more easier for that emergency response time. Right? You know, you can got now watches, Apple Watches that can monitor your heart rate, your blood sugar, your everything. All those great technologies that like 10, 15 years ago that weren't there are helping people live longer, be more healthier. And when it comes to parents and social media, getting a more of an idea of what your child is looking at, because all we can do is help put up boundaries and give encouragement and motivation. But at the end of the day, when that child becomes of age, they got to make everything that you help mold and give into them. They got to go in that world and hopefully implement everything that you taught them. And that's all we can hope to do. So back to getting a phone, you got to make your own decision, make their own judgment. And it's never too young. You're never too early to make a change, and you're never too young to have someone care about you, like, or never too old. Like, everyone's going to care about you. I care about people in my life, and I want to make sure that they're safe as much as possible. So if you can get them Floridians, oh my gosh, yes, Florida is getting pounded right now. I got love for my Floridians. I was just there in July. I'm going there again next July. I love Florida. Hey, our hearts and prayers go out to all you guys out there fighting this bad weather. We got a little bit of downpour yesterday. If you're in Florida, seek the advice from your governor and leave where you need to leave. It's not worth it. Those little tangible objects are not worth it.
I laugh because I went through Opal, and when Opal hit, it was a Cat 3.
Cat 3.
My mom went through Michael, and it was a Cat 5. Have you ever gone through a hurricane?
I have been through tornadoes. I have been through mild hurricanes, and it is the most scariest thing you can ever possibly go through because the water level, depending on if you're near the beach, and I'm always near the beach, the water level rises. And if you remember the Philippines, was that the Philippines maybe like 12 years ago, where you just saw this they got the hurricanes, and then this was a monsoon.
Yeah.
A monsoon, it just covers everything.
Well, not to mention you
with water.
Just recently had
everything.
The
Maui in Hawaii. Oh, I was in Maui 6 years ago, and it was a very beautiful island. And I just look at the pictures today, and I just feel bad for those people. Yeah, it's just and those people, I think they expected like $6 billion in recovery. Yeah. And then even
it's gonna take years,
Puerto Rico is still struggling.
Yeah.
Katrina, it was 2005.
2004, I think.
Yeah, it was around there. And I mean, there's people
And they're
still
recovering.
going through that recovery. And so if you can find a great charity to lend some support, some help. I had friends that actually drove down they drove to during Hurricane Katrina. I even got friends that went to Ukraine to help over there. I'm like, man, like that's
it took
whoa.
2 years.
Charles.
It took 2 years for insurance companies to finally admit to
Paying off the settlement, yeah, because FEMA.
No. It took 2 years for them to admit to Michael being a Cat 5 hit, so that they can actually pay out for the insurance.
Yeah.
Because if it's a Cat 5 for the insurance companies, they have to actually pay out a certain amount of money. But it took 2 years for them to actually pay that crap out.
That's tough. And, you know, when you're going through that, 2 years is like a lifetime. And so I know the federal government came in and did their help, and different organizations came in and did their help. But when your home is taken away, when your livelihood is taken away, you know, there is only so much someone can do.
Well, here's the thing.
To kind of put that back.
Here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, because I'm from Panama City. The beach didn't get touched. So in town, completely destroyed.
Right, beach was fine.
The trees are
sand was fine.
Everything else.
The sand didn't get any problems.
Internal, completely night and day. Beachside, everything past that point for that bridge.
What year was Hurricane Michael in? What year was that? Hurricane Michael.
Hurricane Michael wasn't that far ago. I mean, it was, but it wasn't.
Well, because it's like we go through this every year. We go through different types of 2018 Hurricane Michael. God, that wasn't that long ago. That was 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Skipping a jump.
And how much did it cost? Like, what was the total collateral damage in cost of Michael? 2018. Oh, you were here in 2018. No, you weren't. You were.
No, I was here. So Hurricane Michael killed at least 45 people.
45 people.
Damage was 60,000 homes.
60,000 homes.
And it caused about $25 billion in damage.
25
including
billion.
28.
That means that Hawaii?
And it included 18.4 billion in Florida alone.
That means Hawaii. So that's 25 billion 2018 hurricane. So in Hawaii, it's going to be more than 6 billion. I mean, now, if you've ever been to Maui, a lot of it was kind of more organic. A lot of like the homes, it's not a lot, but some of the homes, some of the places, they wanted to keep it very traditional. But I mean, you've seen those pictures, they just leveled everything. And I mean, that fire, they're trying to figure out what the fire started, or who didn't start the fire. It was always burning when the world was turning. We didn't start the fire. Okay. Not making a joke, but it just came to my head, though. It just came to my head because if you ever heard that song, it talks about history. It talks about history. So they're trying to figure out who started the fire, how did it start. And again, our hearts and minds go out to everyone in Maui. I was just there 5 years ago. I feel like it was just there, but I went to Honolulu 3 years ago. So I like Maui and Honolulu. So be careful about social media. I'm going to chime off here. I'm Terrence, your computer concierge, hanging out. Uh-oh, what did I do? I just flipped it over. I flipped it over. Hold on. Hey, you know what? I'm going to take you guys through some stuff, though. Oh, I'm going to just give it like a little pan.
Just don't break your phone.
I try. If I break it, I got to take it somewhere to fix it. Where would I go to fix my phone?
Our repair.
Our repair. I would probably